You are now listening to the Be Your Own #LoveGoals podcast with Mo Ari
and Tiffany.
We just want you to remember that every person, regardless of identity, wants these three things: belonging, authenticity, and love.
And after a decade of partnership, we've learned to co-create these things and so much more.
So from wherever you're listening, we're going to go on a journey of becoming our own #LoveGoals. Now let's get into this episode. Hey, it's Mo Ari
and Tiffany.
And you are now listening to the Be Your Own Love Goals podcast. And we are so happy to have you here. So I'm just going to let Tiffany take this one away.
Okay, so I recently saw this post on social media. Well, maybe it wasn't recently, but the quote essentially said that there is pee in the dating pool.
I think I know who posted this.
And I think that was the first time that I have really connected as a person that's married, that hasn't really been on the dating scene, to what that experience was like.
Yeah.
And it got me to thinking about some of the experiences that I've had, some that were really great and some that were like, I don't want to do that again. And one particular one that was a little questionable was back in college.
Yeah.
I was on some dating app, and I met a person who was in grad school while I was in undergrad at the same time. We were talking, and the conversation started to go a little south. With
south as in south? As in this
south,
region?
south. Okay. And when I say south, I mean using language and terminology that I had never, ever heard before.
About the South.
About the South. About the South. Okay.
Just to clarify, we're talking about our physical anatomy.
Yes. the southern region of my body. And I met up with this person, and that was just the confirmation that we were just misaligned. It was just giving a little creepy vibes.
Yeah.
It was giving creepy vibes. And that was really the first time I had actually leaned into really dating.
Yeah.
My senior year of college. And so it wasn't horrible, but it also wasn't a great experience. I think I just was kind of like, whenever the person comes along, I'll lean in then, but I am just good right now.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side of that, I would have to say that my greatest dating experience was dating this guy, this very thoughtful, loving, romantic, chivalrous guy that I happen to be married to.
And tall. I think he's tall.
Oh, is he tall? Mm-hmm. He has a very, very nice beard too. No, but seriously, I really have enjoyed our dating experiences pre being in relationship, pre being married, and still to this day, because I just love the level of attention and intention that we put into it. So
I like your alliteration right there.
Yeah, you like what I did there? But yeah, that's a little bit about me dating. I feel like it's not as expansive, but the moments in my dating journey are very poignant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you, Tiffany. Yeah, I remember that conversation pretty vividly, actually, because about the guy, kind of getting fresh with her really soon into their dating. Fresh. I'm showing my millennial age.
You're millennial.
But he just was real handsy. And then he starts talking about what I had never heard of at the time being called this. He called it digital. He was like, "Do you like digital?" And I was like digits? And we looked it up on Urban Dictionary at the time, and he was legitimately talking about fingering. I'm like, call it that then. Just ask you like fingering, but it ain't gonna be like ratchet. But
exactly,
I remember you telling me about this experience because me and Tiffany were friends prior to dating, so it was kind of funny. And I now call him digital in our in our memory of him. But I think I can't say I have any bad dating experiences.
Okay.
I do, like, nobody creeped me out to that degree.
Okay.
But I would say that similarly to you, I have several experiences of people trying to rush physical intimacy. Now, anybody close to me, most people probably don't know, but like anybody close to me, anybody that spends enough time with me, probably knows that I enjoy physical intimacy. It is high up there for me. So it's pretty hard to rush physical intimacy with me. So if you did that, it's giving dehydrated, it's giving thirsty.
Not dehydrated.
I don't even give people a hard time like that.
You don't. You do not.
So if you're rushing with me, it's like intense and like almost on the like uncomfortable.
It's like they want to eat you.
I don't want anybody to devour me. Yeah. So right. So I would say those experiences where I felt like it was not enough conversation leading up to that.
Right.
That was like rushed and that made me feel uncomfortable. So those experiences, but nobody was like violent or anything weird with like a date, but plenty of people have those experiences. But so I would say that, and then of course my favorite dating experiences thus far have, of course, been with Tiffany.
Of course, I was just supposed to know that.
Well, I think
I'm just messing with you.
While I haven't had a lot of bad dating experiences, and I definitely have had more dating experiences, and they all have this like special quality to them. It's definitely still significant and special to be able to look back on our relationship and see how those dates led to where we are now. And so there's just like the sacredness or the specialness that is there. And so when I think about our dating experiences, of course they're my favorite because they led here. And because so much of that foundation and how we were intentional with one another has left a lasting impact on how we do romance, how we connect, and other things now. I really believe that our foundation was around friendship. So dating just felt so natural and comfortable. And it was really centered in connection. I'll say that. But yeah, Tiffany definitely did not rush me to the bedroom. So that was probably a big no for me.
I did not. Yeah.
So got my paper upside down. My notes here upside down. This has me thinking a lot about do's and don'ts in relationships when we're dating specifically. So forget like that the fact that we're married and all of this for this episode. We're just gonna be talking from a place of two people wanting to have intentional dating connections. And Hinge actually just released this stat as a part of the distraction-free dating guide, and I actually got to contribute to that. So I'm really, really grateful for that opportunity.
That's amazing.
And for everybody that doesn't know, I am the love and connection expert at Hinge. I absolutely love the work that I'm getting to do with Hinge. And if you want to learn more about that, check out my website.
Yes. So awesome.
But Hinge just released this stat from the distraction-free dating guide that says 78% of Hinge daters say that they didn't know that their date was interested in them because they were on their phone. And it got me thinking about dating etiquette. Like having to be told to put your phone down is not, it's not automatic for everybody.
It's really not.
You know? So it seems like we should probably talk about some dating tips, dating etiquette, dating 101. And I'm, of course, as love and connection expert, and then also as a licensed marriage and family therapist for over a decade, I've gotten plenty of questions over the years about what you should and shouldn't do in relationships. And of course, you give your advice based on you being having been with me for this long, but also like having heard a plethora of stories as a doula, as a mommy coach. People come to you and ask you like so many questions about themselves, their bodies, relationships. So I feel like this could be a good subject for us to talk about. And I wanted to ask you this question. So we know that dating standards might vary from person to person. So how you set your standard for dating might vary depending on who you are, your lived experiences. But I'm wondering about your approach to setting your own standards for dating etiquette.
That's a really good question. I think when I set my standards, I always keep in mind how I want to come across and then how I also want the other person to present as well. So, as an example, if I say I want to have conversations that feel like we're both being present and we're here showing up to the conversation, I am mindful of how I show up to that space. And I also would want the other person to be mindful. So I always kind of think of what I would want when I set my standard. And then I think it's really important to really sit with what I really want, because I think there's so many messages in the media. There's so many messages that maybe you've gotten from friends or family around you about what you think might be a standard, but it's something that doesn't really matter to you. And so it's really getting clear about what matters to you and what standards are important to you.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So what are some of those standards for you?
Ooh, I it's necessary to communicate, I feel like, when I'm dating a person. Now, how often we communicate, how long we communicate, that is variable. That can depend on whatever circumstance. But I do think it's important to have some level of communication, some touch point. Now, for some people, that might be daily, that might be 3 times a day, or whatever the thing might be. But for me, I do feel like it's daily. Now, okay, it might not be a 3-hour FaceTime every day. It might be, we catch up by text message in the morning and we might have a phone call later. Like, it's variable depending on the day. But I personally need to communicate with a person every day that I'm dating.
We know.
How you know?
Oh my God. When we were dating, I made the mistake of not responding to Tiffany's messages.
You sure did.
I don't know if we were even dating at the time. We might
No,
have
we
just
weren't.
been
We were friends.
So I knew going into dating, I better not, because we were just friends, right? At this point, I am messaging Tiffany, and I can be bad at responding to messages now. Like, and it's not because I don't care. I just really put my phone away.
You
so as
really, really do.
Yeah, as we are starting this conversation with talking about how people have their phone on dates, that would not be me. Like, my phone could be on the other side of the universe, and I probably would not have thought about it.
No.
But that I keep up with it and whatnot. But I'm not on there because when I'm with you, I'm very present. So whenever I'm in the presence of other people, I can be just very present. And that's a part of my training as a therapist too, right?
Yeah.
So I am not the distracted therapist.
No.
But so Tiffany messaged me and she goes, it really bothers me when you don't respond to my messages. Like, that does not feel great. And I was like, I understand. I apologize. I will do better. And I have not been messaging her message since. But like, even in our relationship, if you haven't heard from me all day, and I'm just at the office, she can see my location. She knows when I'm just doing work.
I try not to just use the location all willy nilly. Like, I'm not finna just be tracking you along the way. Now, I probably, I know where you are.
Yeah, you know where I am, and you'll still be like, I haven't heard from you all day, and it's like, yes.
I just want to know you're okay. I just be concerned. That's all.
So we know that Tiffany needs communication. I think that that's a good standard, though. And I'm just telling that story to like joke on you, but you got what you needed, right? But you set the standard.
I did.
And I have followed. So I think that I say that in jest, but also saying it to honor that you set a standard, and I had the choice of whether or not I was going to meet that standard, whether I wanted that as a mutual standard for our relationship, and I do. I want communication to flow and to be open, and for everybody to feel that they're being communicated with, no way to say like. Same for me. If we were to communicate and you only wanted to text, I would be like, no, we need to talk on the phone. For people I'm dating, I need to.
Also, we don't want no catfishes either.
Oh my God, whole other subject.
I have a question for you though, Mo. In that same vein, like, what do you feel like are the top list of things that people should not do on a date? So if we, set our standards for what we want in terms of etiquette, what do you feel like what are some of the things that are just off limits we shouldn't do?
This list can be lengthy.
Yeah.
I think something that I wrote down that I was thinking about earlier was the not rushing physical intimacy. That was like the biggest one that came up for me. Everybody has their own comfort level with that with regard to dating. So sometimes when people are flirting, they can flirt very sexually. And for some people, even people, I would consider myself a very sexual person. Like, again, I am not slow to physicality, but sometimes when you lead with like very body-based compliments that are very sexual, it can feel very aggressive, and it could like throw off the vibes because it can confuse what the person's intentions are. Are you and so if you're dating and you don't want to just have a hookup, somebody who's leading with physicality could send the message to you that they're only interested in your physical body, or that they're interested in hooking up. They're not interested in a long-term relationship. And so that's why if you're a person that is like very intentional, you want to have a long-term committed partnership, leading with something beyond physicality can give a better message to that other person. Right. And so I assume people who rush to physical intimacy, that's pretty much what their goal is. I would not take them seriously or assume that they wanted a long-term commitment. So they have to say that to me.
Right, because you like, why are we rushing? Yeah.
And then staying off the phone. I like eye contact, and I don't know if it's my years of therapy, but just being able to be present with the person and really there in the room with them helps to invite all kinds of I will call it visceral intelligence within yourself. When you are present to your body in space with another person, you can tell if you really like them. You can tell if the hair is standing up on the back of your neck, or if your knees start to feel weak. You can feel the range of sensations that start to happen in your body when you're really present. And I think that if you have distractions like being on your phone, you can't do that as much. And then don't dominate the conversation. This is a hard one, but for me, I think being a therapist, I spend a lot of time listening. So when I do want to talk to people, I want to share that space. And some people will really take up all the time.
Yes.
And they'll never ask you a question about you.
Not.
So even being mindful of that when you're messaging, that's really important. What about you? Do you have, a top 3?
I feel like in the same vein of the last thing you said, there is nothing I hate more in this world than when a person doesn't listen.
Yeah.
And I don't like when they dominate the conversation, but I also don't like if I say a thing. I also don't like if I say a thing if a person totally misinterprets. Well, okay, people have the right to misinterpret. I dislike when you gather what you feel like I said and just go on with that. That bothers me to no end in relationship when people do that, and not just like intimate or romantic relationships, any sort of relationship. So that's a no-no for me.
Yeah.
Not listening.
Okay.
I would say another don't is not communicating. Like I said, like it's very important for us to touch base or be curious, understand one another, ask open-ended questions.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's another thing that irritates me. And I don't want to just go on a list of icks, but if I'm having a conversation with you and we're at a point where we're trying to get to know each other, if you're not asking open-ended questions, I'm just wondering.
Give an example of an open-ended question.
An open-ended question is, what do you like to do for fun?
Yeah, just being curious.
Just be curious. And also,
what kinds of questions do people ask in the reverse? Or
well, I don't necessarily know that it's people asking a different kind of question. They answer the question and don't ask another question back. So if I say, what do you like to do for fun? And you say, I like hiking. Crickets.
That's not dialogue.
That's not dialogue. Like, where am I supposed to go from there? So if I'm the only person asking a question, it's giving interview. Yeah. And I'm not here for that.
You're not here for the, oh, I love that. Can you say that one more time?
If one person is consistently asking questions and the answer continues to be just a response to that question, it's giving interview.
Yeah.
And I'm not here for that.
I'm not here for that either.
I am just not here for that. I am here to talk to you and date you, okay?
I love that. It's giving interview.
Yeah, it's giving interview. And then I would say the last don't. So the thing that I really want is curiosity. And what I do not want is a level of closed-mindedness. So it's very important when I'm dating for a person and also for myself to just be interested and curious as to who the person is and what they enjoy or what they dislike. So that would be my last no-no.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm like, have I done any of those things?
Nah,
I don't think so.
If you did, like you said early on, I let you know.
Yes, you did.
Oh my God. So we have a listener question that I'm gonna read and we can talk about it really quickly. So I've been on several dates where a person ordered extra onions or garlic during our date and then proceeded to try and kiss me later in the evening. At that point, I had to tell them I didn't like their breath. I didn't want to hurt their feelings, but I didn't want to kiss them more than I wanted to spare their feelings. Was I wrong for that?
Okay. Were they wrong?
They were not wrong. I feel like that's a hard pass. I don't necessarily know that you can go down every single thing that you dislike, but onions and garlic on a first date, that has the potential to stay in your pores and just be really strong and then want somebody to kiss you and be close and intimate to you. I don't know. That's kind of hard. Like, I don't think he was wrong, sis, bro. Whoever sent in this question.
Yeah, we don't know who sent the question in, but we can assume it probably wasn't a person assigned female at birth ordering onions and garlic on a date. Like, y'all have to tell me if that was a person assigned female at birth.
And in the question is extra onions or garlic, not just the initial onion and garlic. Like, you went above and beyond to get more smelly.
Now, what would have sent me off is if they said extra raw onions. Like the person said specifically, don't grill it. No. Don't reduce it. Because so I definitely want it in my pores.
Yeah.
And on my fingertips.
Yes.
You know how they just cut the red onion up, put it on a salad?
It's more pungent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think that this person was wrong at all. I probably would it's one thing to sit there and have dinner with a person and they order that, but to then want a kiss or want me to be in your face, like, come on, man.
Yeah, I think hygiene has to be up there on the list of things that you have to take care of prior to coming on a date.
Right.
And so I do not fault you at all for saying, I am so sorry. I do not want to kiss you because your breath. I think it's important to be clear, of course, while we're being compassionate, but just setting your own boundary because it's important to help our dates become more aware. Now, the goal there is compassion.
Yeah.
Because, it's hard for me when I have the smells thing happening to be compassionate. But it's really important because we have to think about how we want to be told that kind of information. So if it's like, I really want to, but your breath, because of the onions and the garlic, just are not working well with me. And so you know, I would love to, but I can't do
Yeah.
that right now.
Yeah.
Maybe another time.
Mm-hmm.
And now I don't know if they're gonna get another time
Yeah.
though. So you don't want to make empty promises either, but just like encouraging them that you are interested otherwise,
Right.
but not gonna do that with the breath thing.
Right.
And also, if you are dating, think about popping a mint or something before you try to kiss somebody. Never kiss somebody with a stale mouth. I don't care. Like it needs to be. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
It should be minty fresh if you're going in for a kiss. Don't kiss somebody with hour-old breath, 20-minute-old breath. Literally, make sure it's minty fresh right before you kiss a person. That's like saying I took a shower before the date and the night went well, 4 hours went by. Now we're about to go and have sex and you don't think you need to freshen up at all? Let alone you. I was going to go into more, but I'm just like, let me stop it there.
I think you're right. And it leads nicely into like our hashtag love resources, which are like, what would you say are the top rules of engagement or things in terms of dating etiquette that we should be thinking about? And it sounds like you started to name a couple of them.
Yeah.
But
hygiene is number 5 on that list. We were doing a top 5 and we count down.
Yeah.
Hygiene is up there.
Yeah.
Making sure that you showered, your breath is fresh, and as you are going to be coming closer and closer to that person's body, really think, and if I want to be close to them, how do I want them to smell? How do I want to smell? How do I want them to receive me when I'm close?
Oh my gosh.
If I'm going to go kiss them, how is my breath? Just becoming more aware of that, because it's really important.
It is.
Even if you showered and you know you stay fresh all day, don't risk it. Take another, go ahead, freshen up before you get to trying to get head and all of this. It's like so much.
Just make sure you extra fresh. Extra.
So you don't embarrass yourself. I would be okay. Let me move on. I'm gonna be compassionate. I am feeling activated currently because I've had some interesting experiences.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me, okay?
It wasn't.
I was about to say, you better confirm that wasn't me, okay?
Yeah. Oh my God. Her thing. She is so extra about her hygiene.
Oh my gosh.
4, I said table manners.
Say it louder for the people in the back.
Table manners. Have table manners. That's number 4 on our list of do's for what to do when you're dating to be successful. Okay, have table manners. That means use the proper forks. Chew with your mouth closed.
At the bare minimum, just no smacking.
No smacking.
Oh my God.
I should not hear your food sloshing around your mouth. When I'm up and close on this mic, you don't even hear me going. Now, some of y'all probably listening like that. Okay. A little ASMR for you for free. I'm kidding, but I shouldn't hear all of that. That is frustrating. What about you, Tiff? You like number 3? What's number 3 for you?
I think it's really important to be, like we were saying, being thoughtful in conversation and not be giving interview energy. Yeah. Like, have a conversation, and a conversation goes beyond just responding to a question.
You said I'm your date, not your correspondent. I will not interview you.
I will not. I will not. Let's ask questions to one another.
Yeah. I just pictured you breaking out in the middle of the date because they weren't asking you any questions. Like, hello, it's Tiffany Grant Brown reporting live from the dinner table. And I've got my guest here just to be petty. I love it. Dressing appropriately for the venue is number 2 on this list for me, because often now I can overdress, so I'm not I break this rule sometimes, but I don't underdress for a venue in the least. And I say for anybody, if you're going out with somebody, really thinking about the environment you're going into and trying to match the aesthetic of that environment so that you're kind of matching the energy of the date. And so if you're going somewhere nice and romantic, think nice, romantic. and not like the mall. Or think nice romantic, not the club. Because those are different vibes too. And if you need inspiration, you can look on the internet. Go to Pinterest, go to Instagram, and look up outfits for different types of dates, right? Like, so if you go into a cooking class, you might not want to be in stilettos. You might want to be comfortable. So you get to like think about how you would dress. You don't probably want to wear Jordans to Capitol Grill. You just probably can't do that. Yeah. Or Timberlands. Yeah. But just matching the vibe of the day is like really, really important. And putting your best foot forward. Yeah. So in how you dress. Go ahead, if you have a beard, line up that beard. I get a lot of complaints from women talking about how women in heterosexual relationships talking about how their dates are showing up to the date without their facial hair groomed. That's a big no for women. Women really, if they don't pay as much attention to the hair on your head, they're paying attention to the hair on your face. They will let you slide with not having the freshest haircut.
Especially if you want to be kissing. Yeah. It's right there.
They do not they do not like a beard that is not groomed. Okay, I can go on a tangent about that.
Yeah, I would say, the last one, I mean, it's pretty simple and straight to the point. Be on time.
Be on time.
If you say you're gonna be there at 7, please be there at 6:45. Yeah. In the least, okay? Be on time, please.
That's another thing. I think a lot of people don't like to be kept waiting, but I've also heard a lot of women say, heterosexual women in particular, saying that dates are leaving them waiting for like 20 and 30 minutes, and then they come up with these elaborate reasons why they were late, which is crazy.
The stories I have heard,
everybody had their phone out and they had to go get a charger, and then they come to the restaurant,
lost their phone,
not charging their phone, right? Or they lost their phone. Exactly. In this day and age where y'all have, they driving up in a Tesla like they don't have a charger in their car though. By the way, it's like crazy. The stories I've heard.
Yes.
So being on time, and then when you are not going to be on time, communicating ahead of time. And I mean, we're not talking about hours, because if you're going to be hours late, then we need to reschedule. And you should be proactive about finding another time to reschedule. Exactly. That's how you like have a really great date. You are honoring the other person's time. And I'm really curious about the audience. If you all have any etiquette tips or any stories that come to mind. I would love to hear that. Yeah, please send in these stories. Tiffany, did you have anything else you wanted to leave us with before we end this episode? You know what? I was about to mess up. I'm like so thirsty.
The most exciting part of the episode you're about to skip.
I am so sorry, you all. And I'm not going to even edit this out because this is real and authentic.
This is real life. Real life.
If you could have one superpower for your first date, what would it be? This is our truth or truth question, the part of our episode where we spend some time just connecting and having a little fun. And we like to ask each other these questions in order to build intimacy and connection in our relationship. We've always done this. So that's my question. If you could have one superpower for your dates, what would it be?
So I'm going to try to answer this really quickly. I abhor guesswork in trying to intuit or understand what a person is thinking or feeling. Yeah. So I would love the superpower of like, is that telepathy?
Yeah, reading people's
minds. Now, in the moment I was about to say I wish I had that superpower, some part of me is like, that might be too much insight into what they're feeling, because then I could potentially be very critical. But, however, I just want to know how you feel, especially, ideally, I would be with someone or dating someone who is vulnerable, so they would, explore their feelings and express them. But in the least, if it's somebody that maybe isn't as comfortable expressing them yet,
on the first date.
Well, is the answer the first date?
Yeah, the question is first date.
Oh, first date. Okay. I guess my superpower then would be, I low-key still want that though.
Yeah, just remind.
I just want that. I'm sorry. I know that comes with like some cons.
Yeah.
But for me, I just want to know how you feeling, because I want to know if this is going somewhere, if I'm wasting my time, like quickly.
Okay. I love it.
What about you?
I was supposed to say so many smart things with the response to this question.
I know, I could see it like simmering for you.
You had a sensible answer. You're always so sensible and like thoughtful and things, and I'm just so playful. So now I just am like, I am going to be quiet. 2 things came to mind. I was like, I want the superpower of having endless money because these dates get expensive.
I like how you think there.
Yeah, and I want to like wow them with my. You can get steak and lobster.
Can we go tonight?
I can handle this. I'm saying when you're dating though, and you gotta date a lot of people,
that's a lot.
Everybody don't get steak and lobster.
You need a little budget.
You need a little budget. It's like you need a second job. Okay. So thankfully I'm not dating multiple people at the current time. So I get to just focus all my resources on one person. But it does get to be a lot if you're dating multiple different people or trying to like explore dating. So I would say that. And the second thing that came to mind, I was like, I just picture myself like Aladdin being able to fly, so I could like take you out and like show you something like
a whole new world.
Yeah, all of that.
Yes, I love that.
I wanted to like wow my date with something special. And so being able to take them up and fly, it sounds romantic. Then you get a bunch of mosquitoes hit you in the face, and
I mean, we gotta think about that. I'm just seeing like on that magic carpet, like living my best life. I love that for us.
Okay, I love it
too. Oh my gosh, this has been a very interesting conversation about dating. Yeah, and I think that even talking about it gives me more empathy for people that are on the dating scene right now. It allows me to like think back on my experiences, and even currently still like dating in a marriage or dating still in a committed relationship, how some of those things might get put on the back burner and how it's really important to re-engage with those things. Like, just because we're married now, I shouldn't be like smacking and like doing all that non-table manners at the table anymore. So it's just continuing to keep that etiquette in mind, I think, is just a continuous thing. So I'm glad we had this conversation.
You have no problems with manners or anything. I love this conversation too. Yeah. And I think for anybody listening, this is just a reminder that there might be people out here legitimately peeing in the dating pool, having literally no manners. Yes. But there are plenty of people who do think like you, who do understand that these things are important, like manners and showing up on time. And because you are hearing from us that we think this way, I know that there are so many other people who think this way. So thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Be Your Own #Love Goals podcast with Mo Ari
and Tiffany.
Have a great day and be well.
Bye. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Video episodes are on YouTube and Spotify.
If you want your question included in an upcoming episode, feel free to reach out to us on Instagram at Be Your Own Love Goals, or check out our website at lovegoalspodcast.com. We look forward to hearing from you soon.
Bye.